In Indiana, people pan streams for gold. They search the hidden hollows, hoping to find the legendary lost silver mine. Some even head to the deep woods, hoping to snap a picture of Bigfoot. None of these are a guaranteed thing, but it's fun to look. However, each April, something elusive and valuable appears all over the countryside, but for only a few weeks. Morel mushrooms. Not always easy to find, and worth a small fortune, as they've never successfully been grown in a lab. Hunting them is part sport, and part obsession for some. For a fact, it's been a southern Indiana tradition for as long as I can remember. There's both folklore and science behind how to find them, and the funny part, it's not clear which is which. In my family, it wasn't really spring until you found your first morel mushroom in April. As soon as it was April the 1st, we'd be waiting for rainy days, followed by warm sunny ones to produce a large amount of morel mushrooms. As soon as you were old enough to walk and hold a bag, you were big enough to go mushroom hunting, and the exciting game was on. The first thing I learned as a kid was the importance of mayapple plants. Sitting all over the ground, they almost looked tropical. I was told to get a stick and look under each one. You never know, a mushroom could be hiding underneath. Then again, so could a snake. And that's where the folklore about mushrooms began. I heard that wherever a snake had died, that's where you'd find a mushroom. Mushrooms could be found near dead trees, along old fences. If you find one morel mushroom, stop and carefully look around. Where there's one, there's usually more. They can be found on slopes that face north, woods that have recently been on fire. Damp soil seems to be a good place to grow. Not to mention old apple orchards. Old-timers always said to look around elm, oak, and ash trees. In practice, mushrooms pop up at a lot of odd places. And if you find a good spot one year, there's a very good chance you'll find them there again. As kids, we would take plastic grocery bags to collect mushrooms. You should instead use fishnet material bags so spores are shook all over the woods as you walk. We also learned not to pull a mushroom from the ground and instead cut it at the stem. Leaving that piece in the ground seemed to help the next batch form. Each year my cousin would talk about scientists developing special glasses or spotting scopes that would help you spot the mushrooms easier. I can hear him like it was yesterday. The French people trained pigs to find truffles. Why not morel mushrooms? We talked about training a bloodhound to sniff a morel, then seeing if it could help us score the batch of a lifetime. But we never did it. But I'm not sure that anything is better than a good eye and patience. It was quite the adventure each year. We would form teams at Grandma's house and go out for several hours. We'd come back with either feast or famine, but lots of stories. It was always a communal event, and everything was shared. They were soaked in big bowls of salt water to get out the bugs. Everyone has their favorite recipe, from butter to spices. But for us, the mushrooms were cut into pieces, soaked in egg, dipped in flour, then fried. I can close my eyes and smell those mushrooms frying in Grandma's kitchen. But it was much more than just having a Southern Indiana delicacy. It was about family, a shared goal, and making memories. Today, we could all use a lot more family events like that. There are some places in Indiana where professional hunters sell morel mushrooms. They can be very pricey, depending on whether it was a good season or not. And though you can buy different mushrooms at the store, both fancy and cheap ones in a can, it's not the same taste as a morel. Nor is it as exciting as finding them yourself, or better yet, with family and friends. It's about memories and the Southern Indiana experience, something that will last a long time after the last mushroom of the season is finally gone.